This video is a film study look at Seahawks rookie receiver Tory Horton, who had 3 catches for 31 yards. It did take 7 targets to get that production in Thursday night's 23-23 tie with the Raiders. Certainly not efficient, right, from the standpoint of overall catches to targets. But he was exciting in that he was available on some deep stuff, handled the snag concept or short routes well. One intermediate concept ended up being an interception, but he looks really fast twitch, quick off the catch. The snag concept will be one of the first plays that I show you. And then the touchdown where he breaks 1, 2, or maybe breaks 2 tackles and spins out of a third. I think that one was 10 yards on a 3rd and 6, put Seattle up 13-3 in the second quarter. I did like the offense that Clint Kubiak ran. I don't know about you. You're more than welcome to give me feedback in the comment section. Look, the Raiders had some starters on the field, particularly early, the first 2 possessions. Seahawks raced out to a 16-3 lead, I think, at the half. Their defense was balling, 2 picks, 2 interceptions. The rookie wide receiver, Horton, had a couple of third down catches. Arroyo, the rookie tight end, he had a third down catch. All of those guys showed some bursts, showed some potential. I'm looking forward to seeing what opportunities Horton gets moving forward. How he takes advantage of them. There's other talent on this roster at receiver, right? I mean, besides JSN and Cooper Kupp, right? There's MVS, Jake Bobo, Ricky White. The competition is not easy for Horton. He's 6'2", he's a 5th-round pick. I thought Seattle did a really nice job collecting talent later in the 2025 draft. I'm not even talking about, what they got in the first 3 rounds, how they parlayed that into so much young talent for this roster. I'm talking about Horton, the fullback from Alabama, Robbie Oots, I think is how you pronounce it, Damian Martinez, and then Riley Mills, the big hulking defensive end from Notre Dame that's going to be out for a while. Anyway, let's get to the film and take a look at a number of his targets against the Raiders. This first one is a snag concept in the first quarter. So it's trips to the field, or bunch to the field, I should say, out of 11 personnel. And there's Horton up to the field side. The trips or bunches into the boundary. So you've got a unique situation where 4 are set into the boundary pre-snap. And then the Seahawks are taking advantage of the field side coverage now because the nickel defender is set up to the boundary. Arroyo's running into the flats, the flat or the shoot route basically. And then Horton is running the snag. He's just going to basically sit in the first window that he sees Locke gets it to him. And what I really like here is the bounce immediately out of the catch. Kind of loses his balance. Ray Rices it, if you will, puts his hand in the ground, keep his balance right there, ends up turning it into conceptually similar in some ways to the touchdown that we'll show you to finish this video. This one's going to be incomplete deep right. I wonder about this one and one other. Basically, the route that Horton is supposed to run. This is speculative on my part. I have tried to make it a point this year to be more open-minded about what might be occurring because the NFL level, there's so much going on. So I think we've got a cover 3 here. This is the incompletion where Horton runs a vertical, and then Locke throws it incomplete out to the right side, almost as if he's expecting a different route. It's possible that against this cover 3, that this is what Horton should be running, basically that you've got a vertical by 2 that could hold this corner and the safety, if you accept that this is a cover 3. And then Horton should be running a deeper out concept to make himself available, essentially allowing Locke to possibly read this corner, what he's going to do. I don't think that the vertical to number 2 is available for a number of reasons. First of all, the free safety is here, not in the middle of the field, but dividing the two number 2 receivers, not necessarily evenly. And also the corner is all over the quarterback's eyes, if you ask me, and he's not really breaking, he being the corner, until the ball is thrown. So you can see the ball is thrown, and that's when the corner decides to peel off and make a play on it. I do wonder if Horton ran the wrong route or didn't read the coverage the same way that Locke did. Perhaps Horton's not wrong there. Maybe those guys just weren't on the same page. But we hear that too often. I'm open to other explanations for that one. Still the first quarter. This is actually another 3rd down, 3rd and 10. So I love this stuff where teams motion in either a receiver or a tight end outside the end. We call it short motion, meaning you're not going from one side of the field to the other. In this case, it was Bobo being the outside receiver and then motioning in to almost stack with Horton, really be on an inside leverage alignment. The 3rd and 10, this one's going to be intercepted, essentially a high-low concept into the boundary here. So it's kind of a backwards formation, tight end running back set to the field. with 2 receivers down into the boundary. Almost a little bit of a giveaway in terms of where you're going with it. And just check out Locke here. I do wonder, once again, if Horton is supposed to flatten this route out some. But as I pause this every time, check out Locke. I mean, he's just staring this down. There's nothing here to threaten that safety at all to the other side. I'm talking about the boundary side safety who ends up making the interception. Is it possible that Horton is supposed to flatten that route out some more instead of taking it where he does? Which, when I say where he does, it's kind of like at that type of angle there. Is it possible that he's supposed to bring this flatter towards the sideline, and that's kind of where Locke is throwing the football? That's entirely possible, and maybe some people smarter than me can point that out from other content creators or other people who analyze the game. I'm not sure, and at this point where I am with analyzing the game, I'm willing to recognize that 2 things can be true. Locke really stared this thing down and told the safety, hey, I'm coming over here. And it's possible that maybe Horton's route should have been a little bit more flat instead of being almost like a little bit of a corner headed towards the first pylon. Really nice interception by the Raiders defender, obviously. All right, a 3rd and 6. This one actually doesn't involve Horton. This is Arroyo, the rookie tight end. 3rd and 6, and it looks like there's some type of blown coverage here, possibly, or this safety who's manned up on Arroyo pre-snap is supposed to blitz along with the inside linebacker, and there's just a lot of space here for this other defensive back to try to recover on to get to Arroyo, who briefly trips a little bit over the foot of 2 different Raiders defenders, catches a quick pass from Drew Lock and converts for the first down. On a 3rd and 6, there's just a lot of space that's here inherently by the alignment. It looks like they're going to play 2-man is basically how there's the first down for 10 yards. Really nice job here by Horton on another third down. That's what I really enjoyed about watching the film of him from this game, is that so many plays, so many of the times he's targeted, it's on 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 10, in fact, receiver motion to the field, so they've created a 3-by-1 formation. There's a tight end's helmet right there. Horton is the backside X into the boundary, and the Raiders are playing, in fact, 2-man in this case. So a little bit of off coverage by the corner to the downside. I think it's Richardson, who ends up getting called for a pass interference penalty. I'm not a huge fan of that penalty, but what I am a huge fan of is the way that Horton plays through contact and gets the right arm and kind of knocks the corner off balance right here to then bring this route back to the sideline. I guess they called it contact to the helmet or contact to the face. Maybe it was a DPI, I'm not sure. But when I say 2-man, this is what I'm talking about. Man here, across the board, with 2 safeties deep on a 3rd and 10, neither one of whom is, really being involved with this particular boundary. The touchdown, this will be the last play that we go over. I do intend or hope to do a video on the offense sometime this weekend. It probably won't be ready for Saturday night. Saturday night, I'd like to take a look at the offensive line. But in any case, this is another 3rd down, 3rd and 6. About 6:45 left in the half as the ball was snapped here. I think this one puts Seattle up 13-3. So why are they motioning here? They're determining or sifting out the coverage. So the corner to the boundary, it's really the ball's in the middle of the field. But when I say, right here's the ball in the middle of the field. But when I say the boundary, you've got the number 3 receiver, the tight end there. Number 2 receiver, I think, is White, and the number 1 receiver. So this is a 3-by-1 formation. So even though the ball's in the middle of the field, the Raiders are going to treat this side up here like the boundary from a coverage standpoint. Well, they motion the running back out. So now Horton, who was number 1, the outside receiver, in fact, the only receiver over there, he becomes number 2. When you get the end zone angle, you'll see Locke. I think Locke gives Horton a subtle signal for the route. Perhaps he's signaling to the running back, and Horton's route is hard-coded. In any case, taking advantage of the zone that they know is there, Locke is locked on or instantly looking to that side, completes it to Horton. A great spin move out of here to get into receiver, tremendously talented, fast. Give him an opportunity here in the preseason to see how good the guy is. There's a little bit of a either two-read or palms nature to this, but it's also the running back up top. So the running back is running a vertical. These corners in the NFL don't necessarily respect that vertical by the running back. Who throws it? Not too many. So two-read or palms would be on an out by 2. This corner up top would basically be getting off and then jump that out route, and part and parcel to that, or related to it, will be the safety getting over the top, which is, to me, why I think this is not two Reed or Palms, because that safety in no way, shape, or form is hedging over to that side at all. He's completely locked on to number 2, not getting any depth to deal with the running back. I think this is just a corner saying they're not going to cross. Locke looking over there directly, trying to see what occurs. And then notice the hand signal that I believe he gives. I think it's to Horton because the running back hasn't got out there yet. The running back's back is still turned. Maybe he's just scratching his neck, but I don't think so. I think he's giving Horton a symbol. Hey, we've got zone, and as a result of us getting zone, we're going to be able to attack or take advantage of this inside linebacker here. You can see the arrow pointing to him. That's the inside linebacker who is inside leverage and can't get to that little skinny out by Horton, and then no one can make the tackle. First career touchdown. I think he's got extremely explosive ability the moment he gets the ball in his hands. I would look for some screens next week to him. Some shorter, quicker passes to give him an opportunity to do what you saw there and even on the first catch that I showed you, which is make someone miss and then get some yards after the catch. I like his contact balance, his ability to put his foot in the ground while catching the ball and then make his move either just after catching the ball or at the same time. I'd like to see him targeted more. Um, More routes like the one on the interception, to be honest with you. And again, I'm interested to see what other people who are smarter than me about the game of football think of that route. Um, as I explained earlier, I'm trying to be a little bit more open-minded to multiple interpretations because sometimes these NFL guys have different checks, and only former NFL players who've played in some of these systems can really notice certain things. I do believe that Locke signaled to Horton on the touchdown after confirming that it was going to be zone, but I could be wrong. Could have been a hard-coded route by Horton. In any case, Horton looks like a big, strong, ultra-quick guy immediately after the catch. I'd like to see his usage. I don't want to say increase, but definitely get another 6 or 7 targets next week. I have no idea what McDonald and the coaching staff's plan is globally, nor for the offense. This was a fun one to produce. It was a fun video to watch in terms of trying to gather the film of Horton, an interesting player and someone who I thought Seattle scooped up in the 5th round, where they almost got 2 drafts in one, the first 3 or 4 rounds, and then everything thereafter, 5th round onward. I do have some offensive line cut-ups to focus on for the Seahawks in another video. Gray Zabel, Abe Lucas, Bradford specifically on the opening 3 possessions and how effective they were at times, essentially focusing on the end zone angle. In any case, let me know what you think of the video and some of my thoughts about Horton's play, the possibility that 1 or 2 of the routes were not the correct read, and then his ability after the catch. I'd like to see him get some short targets, intermediate, and deep stuff. In any case, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you have never subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so now. I also do have a Seahawks Discord that I probably should have advertised before now, but I think we have 6 people in there now. It's basically a secure place where Seahawks fans can communicate about the game, absent any trolls or anyone who's not a Seahawks fan talking about the team in a way that really is either A, disrespectful, or B, a waste of time. It's very cheap. It's about $4.50 a month. If you're interested, you get access to the Discord, and I'm in there consistently. I have the Discord on my phone, so easily communicate with people no matter where they're from. Appreciate you guys' time. If you think other Seahawks would enjoy this video, this film study look at rookie wide receiver Tory Horton and his first career touchdown, then please consider grabbing a link to this video and sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.